All right, guys. So this is day two of the Massachusetts Go tournament. We have two more rounds left, and we had three wins on the first day, although there were ups and downs, but we played a very good game against our fellow professional player. And even though we played worse against the other two, we were still able to win. And so we were very, very happy going into today. And in hindsight, spoilers alert, we were a little bit too happy. So, this game, we were white, and our opponent was Alan. Um, Alan's probably the one of the top players who has a very similar play style to us. Although Alan is a much more solid player than we are. And we could tell by just the way that Alan goes about and does things. While we would be fidgeting our hair and then like not sitting up straight all the time like this, Alan um, always looks very composed and so um, um, very composed. However, on the Go board, both of us are not that composed. Both of us on the Go board tends to go for the complicated fighting variations, which makes our games very interesting, and there's a lot of ups and downs. And even though I had some warning signs the previous day, clearly I was still in a very picnic and adventurous state of mind. So So, against this very strong opponent in Allen, I played um, at this location, at this point in the game, I played a very adventurous invasion approach move to this corner. Um, Usually you only play this after black has a move at like F17, but in this time I really felt that I wanted to do this, and I really felt that um I really felt that I really wanted to do this. And I know that Alan was talking before about his Alan represented the US in the World Amateur Championships and did very well in the tournament. Um, so And anyways, Alan seemed so strong. He was always besides me. I was watching his games against others who's played super well. Anyways, I really wanted to play here, and I did, and I was in the game. I was not punished for it. So the following happened. So this is worse than the shape on the upper right for us, but if black plays here, then it'll be even. Black could play here, but then it'll be just slightly good for black. But the directionally, white is very acceptable because this thickness faces this part, which is very strong too. So a tanuki of this shape is very reasonable then. And again, this shape, again, we neglected to play this push, which is Joseki. And here is what we'll see. Here we'll see the mindsets of both of us as Go players very clearly exemplified. I played here, starting the fight. The first move is a very um, it's a very dodging kind of a move, very good move no matter what. We played here, and this move is protecting this cut perfectly fine. So black is making one less move here, and because black doesn't want to make just a dry cut, black wants to make this B15 totally wasted. So if we connect, B15 would be doing absolutely nothing for white. Whereas after black cuts, B15 is totally important. That's why black doesn't want to cut, and I don't want to connect. and both of us would not play this for a very, very long time. And the next is our personalities exemplified. I played here. What I want is black to play here, and then I would play another block in center or push something like this. Alan does not do that. Um, and So I play the strongest move. Alan also plays the strongest move. And so this is basically inevitable that we would get a very complicated fight right here. Okay, played. And then it's a very classic I ladder you, but I can't ladder you. You are laddering me, but you also cannot ladder me. Kind of a double laddering kind of a shape. This is the quintessential um, wrestling kind of fist fight where the distance to your opponent is as close as physically possible. Very, very interesting. So in hindsight, I probably should connect here for cleanliness sake, but I played here because both of us really want maximum efficiency out of everything. Here, after I connected, I saw this, and I was very, very worried because of here, here, here. Um, this move, um, I have to play this way, and then this would be a ko. The ko threat would, of course, be here. Maybe the ko threat is on the top, but anyways, this would be good for black. Um, of course, if I had played this exchange before, I think this would still be good for black. So overall, this would be good for black. So I was very, very worried that this would be played. And of course, the real problem is that this threatens to ladder these stones via this. Hard to, what do you say? Hard to believe, but this ladder actually works for black. I had not thought about this at all, so crazy. Anyway, so this was a major problem for me. In the game, though, Alan was also probably not thinking about the ladder and capturing this in co, or maybe this co is hard to tell if the co is actually very, very good for you or not. And White may be able to Atari there to capture bigger on the top. So, like this way, White can capture there. So as black, you probably have to make the connect first, and then um, this way White can capture bigger. Hard to say. Anyways, anyways, so big complicated fighting happened and continued, and more of this ladder shenanigans kept happening. More, more ladder. Anyway, this was a very typical of this was a brawl, and we both went for the brawls. However, this is favorable for white, I felt at the time, and indeed it was. Um, Basically, black has to do this to survive. We turned, and then we played here. It's hard to think about how black should do this because white's left-hand side is basically safe. White's middle and black's middle is tangled up, but black's middle group is a little bit in trouble. And here, um, and here is where I really should have hunkered down and thought harder about the situation. In the game, we played this and we played here. It felt like, black is really trying to cross through crevices in between two rocks at this point. So it's a very difficult situation for black, it felt. But after black played here, because white also has some not alive groups, black wouldn't have too much problems. You know, it's 50-50. It's not easy for both sides. As white, probably this would have been a bit better. This locally is a Seki, although if um, um, well, not better, but that's a possibility. If I'm sure if White was able to get a Hane beforehand and then played this way, I'm sure this would be much better for White than the other game. Maybe about the same. Anyway, this is a possibility. Um, However, the best move now is to play here. And if I had discovered this, oh my God, because of the throw-in, oh my God, how beautiful it would be. How beautiful is this? Preserve the throw-in, therefore black can only play something like this, and we can do whatever we want. Yeah, this, and so this is technically a double code, so there's no way black would survive. The only possible thing is Atari and then Atari there, but even here, we have this possibility to Atari this one, and then we can extend, and there's no ladder, just no ladder. Of course, black can do many things like this one, but this would still be a very, very pretty capture of a very, very large group. My God. And we missed this. We missed this, and um, very unfortunate. That was our the one clearly winning part for White. And incidentally, if you guys see the AI graph, it was the only time that we had a clearly winning game for the game, uh, position for the game. And here, when we played the two space, we knew that we probably would not capture this black group. We had to play the one space, and that is, again, the clean shape is much more powerful than in the attack than the unclean shape. And you'll see that with two spaces. Um, um, so we committed to capturing via the cut, but with the two spaces, look how many look how many um, look how much Agi we had over here. Um, and that Agi was just enough for black to counter against white, and this ended up being um, a code like this. By the way, I always expected black to have to connect, which I kind of, before this, I thought we had a live shape like this, which is my mistake in reading. So, um, of course, I cannot be, I have to play something else now. Um, in this way, it's probably not I would not be able to capture black. Very unfortunate here. So the other thing is to play here, but um, because black is alive in the corner, there's nothing major that we can do to punish black. Another thing is we could have cut. So you guys may have seen some Josekis that go like this with a code like this. This is why. So if something like this happens, imagine what happens later when black plays here. Now we can connect on the outside and connect there. Of course, needless to say, like this is gonna be a capture. So just a little bit of weakness and two spaces instead of one space, having the more efficient shape but weaker shape really cost us the capture in this game. And all this RG just barely, barely, um, barely forced us to not get this. So in the game, a call happened. We threw in here. we were able to win this call. So after we won the call, we felt like, yeah, if we win this call and we capture the right-hand side, this is going to be a good position for us. But little do we know that this position is minus 20 points. After black played here, and I'm sure the best move is to again go for the clean capture. There's a theme here which is clean generally beats RG. After black played here, we were dumbstruck. We looked and looked on the right-hand side, and we decided we had to play this to capture. Indeed, this was the only move to capture. Very unfortunate. Um, we thought at least we could play and capture like this, you know, at least we can capture like this. But no, if we played this push, black plays here and then here, and just suffers in the corner and just saves these stones. By the way, black lost a bit because now there is a throw in here to capture this tail. So in any case, having to spend an extra move here really, really cost us a lot. This is perhaps one situation when the modern Joseki with S6 is worse than having that stone at the connect. If the stone was at the connect point, um, then at least um, we could push and then capture in a big way. Another 10 points, another maybe um, 10 points or so would have surely um, helped out greatly. Anyway, at this point, we had felt that we were probably a bit behind. This was all forced. In hindsight, this was good for white, but we barely as you guys can see now the game is very close. But again, because of all the overwhelming thickness that black has, the end game is going to go severely good towards black. And so here is why, when faced with all of that, we decided to go for too much. We connected, overplayed. We should have captured these, and then you know, let the bottom be the bottom. If something like this happened, maybe we can play this. Maybe I don't know. Um, it's also hard for black to, if black just plays here, I'm sure this would be like white being a little bit better now. Um, no, 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 not quite. If it's just like this, it's hard for both sides to play perfectly here. But overall, black does have the advantage of having overwhelming thickness and a lot of territory, of course. And us having to play this move at Q6 and then this knight's move, spending two moves to capture this group, proved to be too much. So after this, we really didn't have any good chances to make the game close. In the end, we lost by 7.5. Maybe we could have lost by 5, but yeah, this was uh, whatever we do. We should have first captured the top and then the tail, and then see what black would have done. Um, yeah, yeah. But again, black was way ahead after the middle anyway. So, and for us, it was a very clear tragedy. It felt like a tragedy because we felt like we were so strong in the middle here. I'm sure we have to extend here and then keep trying to fight this way because there's some Ataris here. It's not clear that black has an easy way to live. And after black maybe makes an eye here. And then if we get the first move on the left-hand side, maybe the overall game is still okay for white. Something like this. Yes, suppose something like this happened. This is an even game. Um, yeah. So again, this was a very good game. Very hard fought, very interesting game, and that's a very crucial point in the game. We missed this opportunity, a big miss, and well, in hindsight, we never got a second opportunity after this. So yeah, this was the one strike, the decapitating strike. Hmm, very nice. Ah, and of course, the one space much more powerful. Uh, okay, so another good game. Um, we did come fairly close. We did make the game fairly close, but you know, not close enough. 3.5 points, 3 points. In AGA rules, maybe one more point, so 2 points. All right, so after this game, we were 3-1, and Alan's the only player who is 4-0. Alan's the only player who's 4-0, and Alex, but he has to play Alex, who is the other professional, which Alex always has a good chance of beating anyone um, in the US. So yeah, so they're playing there on board one, and I'm playing here on board two, facing my nemesis, Xiaodi. We have played many games on Fox. The first couple games we won very handily in a tournament, but the last two tournaments we have lost against her, and very much in very similar fashion. She gets stronger shapes. It's kind of like our game with Alex. Our opponent gets stronger shapes, and we get the weaker shapes. And and then we eventually lose some kind of a fight, and we make some kind of a mistake. We get a couple points behind, and as a result, we lose by we get very far behind, and then we fight our way back, but we're always unable to fight all the way back. We fight our way back to half a point, 1.5 points, 2.5 points, but very rarely do we win by, 2.5, 1.5. So this game we were playing black, um, and here we have a very um, we have a plan. We first play this, and then we play this cut, and then we fight it out here. Um, Here though, if the bottom was this move our and then Q5, then we can cut without fear of being laddered, and white cannot do this. But as it is now, when we play here, white can play this one in Sente, so we cannot cut. Cut gets laddered, but we should still play this way and then play kind of like this. Five is a nice move. And this way the game continues, and I think this is what the AI suggested. Um, oh, maybe I have to connect this? No way. Hard to figure out exactly what. Okay. Anyways, this is a play here, but then maybe play something else. Okay. Anyways, okay, so we decided to play this one, and then we play the honey and play here. And now here we both make big mistakes. This is a good position for white because white can just play these extensions. When we connect, this is a very natural way to live. But our opponent wants to keep us from living completely, so the Atari happens. But for us, we have to connect this and just keep crawling on the second line. This is not something that I expected. But in hindsight, of course, we would have played this for sure. It forces white to live in the corner, which allows black to capture this one stone. Um, yeah, so in the game we play this as a ko. Okay, we played here, and here white places hane, which is particularly vicious. It's making black only alive in ko, so didn't expect this. Um, However, we were able to play some good counter counterplay here, and here we played this one, where the white fighting the ko would lead to black winning this liberty race by one. I was very proud of myself for having read all of that out, but um, I would have been much better if I had just left the ko as it is, or maybe Hanning here. Turning here would also be big, which I did not see. Um, hmm. Oh, so in the game we kept fighting this ko, but the difference is white was able to get this squeeze, which is ah, this squeeze was hurt very, very much. It totally made the right hand side strong and it's stunting. Okay, so the next fighting happened, and here we made a huge judgment error. Um, Here we had felt the middle was relatively weak, right? Um, and so we felt that we had a lot of co-threats because the middle was weak. And so we played this one to further bully white into living here. And we're just always waiting for white to play this co-threat because this one would be a big mistake. This is still a co, but it makes white also is dead. Um, so it makes the co much, much heavier for white. And if white wants to, not fight this code, well, white has to fight this code no matter what. So, um, yeah, so this way it's just bad for white. I was just waiting for white to run out of threads and maybe make that mistake. But no, no. When white pressed here, I knew I had a very, very, very tough game because all the close threads that we had against this white group is now white close threads against our group here. And so here we have to cut our losses and connect here, but it's already very, very tough now. And so our mistake was here, this move. We should just play in the middle or connect. We can still keep the middle was for sure way, way, way bigger. And so that was very, very unrealized mistake. And here was um, yeah, here was another. We should give up the ko and just try to get that Panuki, but White already got S18 squeezed, so it was very difficult. We were outfought. Um, I guess on a relatively even basis, we messed up in the fighting, and then we tried to bully White with a ko, but instead we were the one getting bullied by the ko. So in effect, we lost a move. And now we're the one with a weak group with a lot of with so it's like a picnic co and easily one co for white. So unable to win this co, so we were gonna die here after all. That's and we didn't get any discernible value out of it. So very, very unfortunate. Okay, however, now we start playing a little bit better. This is our, where we are very strong. This is a middle game. However, another particularly vicious move, taking out this stone, turns out to be a very good move. Um, Very, very vicious move. We extend, and then white plays here. This is a ladder breaker. In hindsight, we probably should extend and let white get the ladder. But we're behind no matter what at this point. So in the game, we played this Atari and extended. and then we played here. Maybe we have to play something like a turn. I don't know. It's a very difficult position. We lost. We were supposed to connect and live in Sente on the top, but instead we died on the top. So we lost 30 points for one move, basically. We lost maybe 10 to 15 points worth of territory, maybe 20 points. Um, okay, so here we had one more opportunity. We have a visitor. This is the last opportunity. We have to play this one um, and then play here. And this would be difficult for both sides. Or for white, the best move is this. And this is very good for white. But locally, it's a good position for black for sure, right? So the thing is, the moves on the right hand side and the bottom is very big. So white should give up some value here and go on the right hand side. But during the game, with how vicious my opponent has played, there's no way white is just gonna let us off the hook so easily. For sure, this would have happened, and some kind of a code would have been inevitable. I forget exactly how this code is going to be fought. Oh yeah, to this. Rely on this Atari and um, this, this. Like this, probably we could have made our comeback. This was our only chance, but well, this was our good chance. But we played here, and this is again a very big misreading, kind of a mistake. I thought we would play this one, and the rest would still be very similar, and you know, and then this way we would even have Sente, unlike the other shape. But of course, we overlooked the this move, which would capture our three stones. Ah, that overlook probably cost us a game. And so we had to play this move basically, and that move would be no good. So, well, just something like this would be no good. And so in the game we played this move, we're like, okay, maybe, but this just dies right away. So there was no way actually to save the three stones. So if we had read that, very easy read, would have for sure Atari. Um, and so um, yeah, after this was clearly a very good game for white. Although at this point we're seeing semblances of a comeback if we're able to make the whole bottom right. And if white just Ataris, we connect. There's no cuts, so we're feeling it. Maybe we can honey, but still it was very difficult. And here our opponent makes absolutely the right decisions because there's some Ajis here. This is Sente, this is Sente, all against the three stones. It's hard for white to fight here, and it's much better for white to give up the three stones. This is not Sente for this, so um, easily white um, turns and destroys our territory, ends up playing the biggest area on the bottom. So white loses three stones, but also captures three stones, and white gets the most important spot on the bottom. And so here we're in a very tough spot. Um, Here white played a defensive move here, of course. If white plays on the right-hand side, and if we're unable to capture white, it would be a bigger loss, but white plays it safe. And here we played very good end game, of course, but again, it's a little bit too late. However, it does become fairly close, as you guys can see. Um, and here was perhaps our last chance. We have to play here. what we didn't realize was that this turn and this Atari is about as big. This Atari we thought was 5 points, but it's really only 4 points because if we play here, it's 5 points, but here we still have 1 point. And this turn is also 4 points. So we didn't realize that. And then this sort of double sente, this sort of a reverse sente would be much bigger. Didn't realize that, and we were gonna lose by 1.5 points, no matter what. And in the end, we couldn't win this code, so we lost by 2.5 points. Very sad, very sad. And again, another very alarming point in this is that we thought the count was 1/2 or 1.5 points, and we didn't count right. We counted by we miscounted by a point somewhere for another point for weight. So our count is was a little overly optimistic, and um, um, yeah, and in the end here we lost by 2.5. So very well played by my opponent, and if we had hunkered down and won this game, somehow made a comeback, we came back. Almost came back. We got an opportunity if we had played the right move here and our opponent played the wrong move here, or if we had played the end game slightly better, maybe it would have been closer. But then we probably would lose by half a point anyway. This is AGA rules. So um, yeah, fought back, but just not quite enough. And this one was one of those games where we almost never had an opportunity to lead or to be ahead. Maybe at this point. Um, so very well played. However, this was very exciting, and the breakdown of this position, not having played the Atari, and then played here, and then playing here, and then letting this get captured like this is really symptomatic or a testament um, to our, this is our weaknesses totally exemplified. Yeah. Anyways, so if we had won our, because my opponents all did well, our tie breaks would have been made us first by tie breaks. Because Alex did beat Alan in the first on the first board. So overall, very interesting tournament. Played a lot of enjoyable games, and our weaknesses were shown right there in the spotlight, and we saw clearly how, without adjusting or us not adjusting to how we play, and letting sort of letting ourselves go wild, um, can lead to very interesting games and these kinds of weaknesses situations. So very informative and very indicative for our state of game. And you could say sometimes we display very strong qualities. Sometimes we also display very weak reading and other things, judgment kind of thing. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed these. These are relatively in-depth reviews for reviewing, but we really don't use AI all that much. So more technical reviews are likely to follow in the future. These are more like state of mind kind of reviews. So, all right, hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys in the next videos. See you guys.